All right, we're back for another Friday financial wrap up with Mr. Michael Zuber. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you recording this on Thursday, as I had to do something Friday morning. So I appreciate you being flexible.
I can't believe we're in April, and I'll tell you what, no fooling around in April. We got to do the work here.
Absolutely.
Let's keep going. Let's talk about Trump, tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. What the hell is going on?
Well, I think Wednesday, which was Liberation Day, is going to be a day we look back on in years to come. You know, if you take the Trump administration at their word, I just saw a speech from Howard Lutnick on CNBC that was 18 minutes long, really talking about this is the reordering of the global economy. The goal is to bring manufacturing home, and that's a very admirable goal, right? The middle class has been hollowed out for decades. And Trump has been talking about this trade surplus for decades, and he has taken his shot. And we it's gonna be messy. It is going to be messy, and consumer confidence, business confidence, investor confidence, it's all going south. And anytime you go through a detox or chemotherapy or whatever analogy you want to use, it's ugly. It's ugly, and it is ugly this Thursday morning. We're recording this at 8 a.m. The market's been open for what, an hour and a half or something,
Yeah, yep,
and it's down like 1,500 points. you
yeah.
know, and it's probably got more to go. I mean, because you've got to reevaluate companies, and every single earnings call we have is going to talk about tariffs, and everybody's
Yep.
going to take down their earnings, and we're going to have demand destruction. We're going to have prices rise. It's gonna be messy. We're going to stare stagflation in the eye. Where the boogeyman is here. And the only question we're going to ask ourselves probably in 6 or 9 months is, did President Trump repeat what Jimmy Carter did, or has President Trump initiated something akin to Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher? I honestly have no idea which way this goes. It could be transformative, or it could be an utter disaster. It's paid, so I'll be watching every day, but this is get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Wow. So a couple things that I had to sit down with my household and with my wife and talking about, hey, like we're don't spend any money that we don't need to spend. Let's all hands on deck. We're we're at war. Basically a wartime general conversation with our household, and
Yeah.
be prepared, and not even really seeing. I'm just now looking at, I've got CNBC on right here. Normally I'm
Nice.
watching Tony Robbins muted with just his motivation
Yeah, yeah,
while I'm working, but
yeah,
right now I have CNBC and it's like massive sell off. Let me
yep.
ask you this. Let me compare this. Let me put some comparisons, and I know it's
Sure.
early.
Hmm.
My thought process was this was the art of the deal.
Yeah,
That
yeah. There's definitely that's the hope, right? Um, when
Trump,
when
but basically the art of the deal for a lot of people, maybe the younger audiences that don't know, Trump was wildly famous 25 years ago writing the book The Art of the Deal, and that because he was a master negotiator and how he became a billionaire and all of the things in real estate. That was kind of his earlier claim to fame in Art of the Deal, and that this looked like a big giant Trump promo, overhype, over sensationalized negotiation tactics.
that is certainly possible, and that is what I would call the hope. When you think of Art of the Deal, and it's actually a pretty good book. I've read it several times. The basic strategy, from where I stand, is you come out with this crazy, outlandish, theatrical first offer, which puts the adversary on their back foot because it's so outlandish. And, you know, then if that's where the negotiation starts and you come up a little bit, you look like a hero and you still get a great deal.
Yep.
I would call that the art of the deal, you know, in very simple terms.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you know, we're working in a worldwide economy where, you know, these countries have their own leadership. And I suspect many will negotiate. I also suspect that all won't. There will be some that fight back and we start a trade war. This is the thing that nobody is talking about, or at least I haven't heard anybody talk about yet. I believe what's going on, and we'll probably see this in 90 days, is I suspect, and I saw some of this in Canada, so I shouldn't say it hasn't happened, but I think it's going to happen around the globe.
Yeah.
Is you're going to see the EU, you're going to see Asia, you're going to see South America, you're going to see Australia turn their back on US companies. When in doubt, you're not going to go to Citigroup or JP Morgan. You're going to go to a French bank or a German bank or a Japan bank. I think there's going to be a lot of reputational damage done and boycotting. And we've already seen Canada travel crater coming to the US. This is, I really do think we're doing there's a lot of reputational damage and demand. It's going to get freaking ugly is my fear.
This is the World War III. Not that it's actually a physical military war.
It's not a hot
trade
war. Yeah, it's not a hot war, what they call a hot war with bullets and missiles. This, and again, we initiated it, right? We changed the board.
Yeah. This is World War III economics, because in the end, how we feed our families, this is World War III. Let me throw a little twist, because again, I'm nostalgic. You're the data historian. I'm more nostalgic and remember how things happen.
Sure.
How would you compare this week? And I know time will tell. We need a few weeks probably to see how it plays out. How does this occurrence compare to Lehman Brothers in 2008? Or when we look at, how would you look at what potentially happens now, just in terms of the way that it's really going to affect household incomes? Do we see massive layoffs next week? Do we see massive layoffs on Friday? Do we see what happens? How does this compare to Lehman Brothers? How does this compare to 2008 specifically?
I love that question. And I love being put to the task of something I haven't thought about. When I think about Lehman Brothers, that was the event that actually started the healing, right? That was the event that got the TARP, thing pushed through. And it was kind of that line in the sand where the Fed and the government said, we are not getting any worse. I think it was like $800 billion or 707, some number. We're going to backstop everything. We're going to backstop AIG. We're going to backstop this. We're going to backstop. And, that the Lehman moment was the point was the bottom, and we healed from there. It maybe wasn't visible when I was watching on CNBC like so many others and people were walking with their boxes out.
Yep.
But that was the moment where the government said, no mas, no more.
Yep.
Yesterday was the freaking start. Think about that.
Yeah.
It could get a lot worse. And the other thing, I want to go back to something Chamath Palihapitiya had to say, I think a month ago on the All In podcast, is, President Trump is basically going to take from the rich and give to the poor. He's going to crash asset prices. And people were like, no, he's not going to do that. Well, did you check the market today? And
it's
again,
happening.
This might be the start of it.
And housing is going to, you talk about frozen and days on market. We're going to talk. I've got a list of things to talk about, but we'll get there. Just is really happening.
Yeah. And again, man, because we're just in the earnings season. RH, Restoration Hardware, or I think that's what it's called. RH. They just had their earnings announcement yesterday. While while the CEO is talking, Trump's tariff announcement comes out, their stock tanks 25%, and he says on a public line, oh shit. His stock's down 30% today because they source their stuff from Asia. And it's just think about all the earnings announcements that are going to be just negative, 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 negative.
Yeah. Let my show notes say, any hope?
Well, that
Any
so
hope?
this, yeah, so there's a couple of hopeful things, and you actually
Yeah.
hit one of them. This could just be the art of the deal negotiation, and in the span, it's going to have to be fast. I'm talking by the end of the month. So let's give them 4 weeks, right? The end of April. If we have, a dozen countries that basically come back and saying, hey, we're dropping all of this stuff on the US and then we drop it on them, you could start to see the healing. Because that'll be a win, right? That'll be a win. If we get more US companies to say, you know what, we're committed to a factory. We're going to build something in Louisiana. You know what? We're going to go back to Detroit. We're going to go to Ohio. We're going to go to Gary, Indiana. We're going to do whatever we're going to do. Hope. So there's absolutely some hope. One of the things you got to realize about capitalism is we could take it on the chin, and we took it on the chin yesterday and today and probably tomorrow, but we'll figure it out, right? I'll tell you, like your show notes have, what am I doing different? I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing different. It's very
Yeah.
different than I thought 48 hours ago, but I'm going to do something different and I'm going to find a way to win. You just got to
Yep.
realize that sometimes the game board got flipped upside down. You got to see how the pieces lit, and then you just keep moving.
Same thing. And I've been playing with the idea, not really knowing, but playing with the idea and talking with everybody, all the realtor hybrid investors I coach. We've been talking about this all week about double down on work ethic, all the things. We'll get into plan change. Let me ask you. So this is the big one,
Hmm.
and I got a follow up for it too. So a change in your rate call. You talk about the Fed rate.
Yeah.
We talked about no cut.
Yeah. So earlier this year, I was very proud of the fact, and frankly felt really good about the fact that I thought mortgage rates would average 7% for 2025.
Yep.
I've officially flushed that call down the toilet. It is clearly wrong. I clearly made an error. Shame on me. I'm wrong. Okay. So
I,
put
I
that.
don't think you're. I never really kind of say, well, I would not even go as like you're
I
not
don't
really
mind.
wrong. No, but
I
you're
don't.
really not. You just you're adapting and pivoting,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
So,
most people where you're making an adjustment,
oh, yeah.
which is that's the part where we go, okay, we're not
Yeah.
stubborn about this.
No.
We go with the wave, we go with the flow. So
Yeah.
go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So again, I didn't see what was coming. What coming came. And so now I have. So given that call has changed,
Yep.
now we have to really, there's a really good chance that we have a recession Q1, Q2, or Q2, Q3,
Yep.
which with demand destruction and all of this. And, we might get several rate cuts. We might even get some emergency rate cuts if this thing goes south fast.
Yep.
And, that means that mortgage rates are going to be much lower than I anticipated.
You said this last week, though. You said I asked a question like, "Hey, what if this?" And you go, "Oh, then rates will go to zero, and
Yeah.
I'll just refinance and pull out. I'll pull out $10 million or $8
Yeah.
million of ass,
Yeah.
and go on another and fill my shopping cart and buy more assets."
That's exactly right. So again, if you follow, because I'm always telling people what I'm doing. So my initial plan for 2025 was to sit on my residential properties, sell them at a 1031 exchange, to be clear, into busted syndications. At the beginning of the year, I thought I might have a chance to do that in Q4, might be 2026. At this point, with rates crashing and perhaps even going lower, I think a lot of busted syndications, extend and pretends, will just kind of fake it till you make it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'll just go get a portfolio loan. I'm going to shoot to get something with a 4 handle on it. We're going to take 7 figures plus of cash, and we're going to go shopping for distressed assets. It's just that simple, right?
Yep.
I'm pivoting. My rate changed. The opportunities are changing, so I'll change. And the really funny thing is all these people that have been saying I'm going to wait, they'll be too scared to do anything. I'll have no
Yeah.
competition again. It'll be amazing.
Yeah. This really You're going to see a lot of price reductions of the real sellers, the people that need to sell and want out.
Yeah, and
You're
you're
going to
going to
see
see a
them.
lot, and you're going to see sellers who don't need to sell just take it off the market, which is going
Yeah.
to make the motivated sellers percentage go up.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, spot on. Also, let's even talk a little anything else on rates and just thoughts. I'm looking at the 10-year right now. The 10 year is just like it's 4.1.
Yeah,
Do we hit 3? Do we hit a does the
it
10-year?
did it actually 10-year went under 4, so it's at 4.01, just to clean that up.
Oh, one. Okay.
Oh yeah,
It
oh
did
one.
go under it, so it
It
had a.
did. It did today. I checked
Do
this
we
morning.
close
Yeah.
the week? Do we close the week with the 3 handle on the 10-year?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, we might even close the day on it under 4. But I'll say tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow when people are watching this, it wouldn't shock me if the 10-year is sub 4% tomorrow.
Where would you put 30-year mortgage then? That would put 30-year mortgage at 6.25,
Could be, yeah, for sure.
six
Yeah,
three.
6.3, probably 6.3. Yeah.
Okay, 6.3. Okay. Wild,
This is
wild,
crazy.
wild. Here we are. Here we are. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So back to the show notes.
Hmm.
Um, I know. Again, let's talk about plans. So when you say go out and buy portfolio, you're going to go out buy distressed assets. Is it
Mhm.
back to single families? Is it maybe 2 to
Could be.
4?
Yeah. It again. I will always buy what's the best deal. Some of them
What's
could
on
be.
sale?
Well, I'll just buy what's. And let me be clear. What's on sale for me this time might be stocks, might be small businesses. Right. I'm to the point where I could diversify. Right. I've already got a pile of cash flow coming from the real estate. I'm not going to be. This is not, Zuber's only got 20 minutes a day and he's going to have a buy box and that's all he's going to buy. This is Zuber, has growing YouTube channels, free to do what he wants all day. I'm going to go find the best asset to buy.
Yeah. And maybe too somebody, a viewer of the channel, because obviously this conversation not only stays alive here
Mm-hmm.
on this Friday financial wrap up, but just throughout the week when you're talking to all your different millionaires and
Yep.
experts and panels, somebody may bring you, who knows,
Yeah.
multifamily,
Yeah.
broken syndicate, some other opportunity
Yeah,
that's
a
like,
retail mixed juice. I mean, I'm going to be very open, and that's going to be fun for me. I'm going to have to skill up. I'm going to have to learn some new things. I might even have a 7-figure stock portfolio by the end of 26 or 27. Who knows? I mean, the world. When you have assets and you have liquidity, the world's your oyster in a recession. When everybody else is afraid, that's when you make your millions.
yeah,
It's like it's just so repetitive. It's comical.
yeah. It's interesting too that the drum I keep beating with the hybrid community, realtor investors, and that is that most realtors, even though they may be showing up to office meetings and coming to the office, their head is checked out. They're
Oh
not in it.
yeah,
I can only imagine that this news, as it compounds over the next days and weeks, people are going to be asleep at the wheel, even if they're showing up pretending and playing real estate. That we're going to see a
yeah.
separation season of people that really work and do the work and people that are Instagram,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
the
doing
key
the
for
work.
the key for hybrid agents, what I would if that's what I was doing is you're gonna have to get really good at figuring out who's a tire kicker versus who needs to buy or who needs to sell.
Yep.
There's lots of reasons not to want to sell or want to buy. Everybody's gonna delay, at least for the next 90 days. But let's be honest, if rates go low enough, things could get wild again.
Yeah, that is, yeah, that's so wild. So what else should we be watching for? I mean, just kind of like looking ahead into the next days and weeks. What
What
do you watch for?
So unlike earlier where I admitted my call on the rates were wrong, I got to tell you I feel even better about my call of transactions being a cycle low of 25.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's going to be that last hard year.
Yep.
Which also means my call that the only people that win 2025 are real estate investors.
Yeah.
Just think about that. We can write disrespectful offers. We can call on expired listings. We can seek out motivated sellers, and there are going to be plenty of them. Life happens to everybody. There could be people liquidating houses because they got stopped out in the stock market. I mean, there could be all kinds of stuff going on. The idea is to be greedy when others are fearful. And Ty, I think a lot of people are going to be fearful, so I'm going to step up and be greedy.
Yeah. Yep. Opportunity. Let's continue and let's finish strong on opportunity. I mean, again, to me, I'm looking at this, and that's where I said, is it 2008 or is it 1994? Like what is it? This was the interesting thing too. When did Trump, and I'm not bagging on Trump, by the way. I'm
No.
just nostalgic and historical in
Hmm.
that way. If we look at, he wrote Art of the Deal sometime in the 80s, but he lost his ass and
Yeah.
had where he had all the bankruptcies and he was
Yeah.
in the whole 900 million.
Yeah,
When
he was.
what was that, like 87 or 80,
Yeah, I want to
88?
say 86, 87, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
If we look back historically, again, and nobody, well, you have the crystal ball, but you won't admit to it. Um, he has all the almanacs. If you guys watch the Back to the Future, he's got
Yeah.
all the real estate almanacs. So, um,
Yeah. Hmm.
if we look back and we say, okay, right now, does this feel like a 2008 Lehman Brother moment? Does this feel like the mid 90s where we're just soft and rolling out of it? Does this feel like maybe 87 where they changed
No, I think
what,
it's 81. It's
81?
def 81 because it's the
81 and
trans
why? And
the
explain the
reason it
nuance of
the
81.
reason it goes from 81, I think it's like the transition year from 81 to 82. 81 was the cycle low for transactions. All the real estate agents were scared. Nothing's going to happen. Who could borrow money at this? Who could borrow, at that? But the reason I think it might be considered 82 is we actually have rates falling now. And I would argue falling dramatically and could get much lower. That is going to eventually spur some demand because here's the reality. Today, I think unemployment is 4.1, maybe it's 4.3, whatever. It's sub 4.5. Let's just say, for example, it gets nasty and shoots to 6% in 4 months, which would be very fast. The other side of 6% unemployment is 94% of people are employed. And a lot of those people have been waiting on the sidelines because housing is unaffordable. If you take the 30-year note down from 6.5 to sub 5,
Yeah.
it's a hell of a lot more affordable.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, by the end of the year, we could be looking at no tax on tips. We could be looking at deregulation. We could be looking at a lot of positive momentum. Today, we're
Yeah.
in the soup because everything is negative.
Yeah.
Eventually, that news cycle will turn and be positive. So, you know what? I'm actually going to call it 82. We're at that transition point. We're in the muck. We're at the low. It's always darkest before the dawn. Oh, I love this question. I do. I think we're at that. It's the darkest right now, but what we don't know is there's a flicker of light coming. We just got to get there.
Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. I wanted you to, that's what kind of what I was thinking. And, my head was there, but I wanted you to clarify and unpack it. I think too that, I said, something that maybe sounded slightly disparaging against our president, but that wasn't
Mm.
meant that way. Um, I want to see, I want to make real estate great again also. And
Yeah.
that, you know what, just the whole idea of low inventory and tight and unaffordable and all of that. I mean, how beautiful would it be to see going forward, maybe in 26 or 27, a normal market with
Mm-hmm.
moderate pricing, moderate rates, and see something where it's kind of moves toward balance. I don't, is that even possible? Do we ever see that, Michael?
Oh,
Do we ever?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
real estate's nothing more than a cycle.
Okay.
Uh, I would argue, yeah, by 2026. I think 2025 is the bottom,
Yep.
for transactions, which means days on market will be going up,
Yep.
active inventory will be going up, motivation will be going up. So yeah, I think we could be back to a quote unquote balanced market by the end of the year.
Got it. Back to, you said something about jobs. Any thoughts on jobs? Do you see this week, today, this week, yesterday?
Well, yeah, I
And
mean, so
and
we
AI. We haven't even said AI. How could we be on YouTube or even be like they say AI every 7 minutes on CNBC?
yeah.
What happens? I know that we're going to wrap up here.
Yeah.
What do you
So
see in the job market?
the job market's interesting, and this all changes because of tariffs. So we got the JOLTS report a little bit weaker. We got the ADP report, which was remarkably strong. We got the weekly unemployment claims, which went down, but everything changed Wednesday. Everything changed. All the stuff that happened historically doesn't freaking matter. It all changed Wednesday. And the reality is we won't know the impact for probably 30 to 60 days.
Okay.
Because businesses are sitting on their hands, they're making evaluations, they're doing these things. I would argue it's probably 60 days away. I think 30 days is even short. No businesses are whacking people today because of
Got it.
but they
Okay.
might be in 60 days.
Got it. And if they did start laying people off or something like that, it was only because they were already struggling and probably balance sheet problems, and
Yep.
they were
Yep.
already on their way out anyway. This just accelerated it. Is
Yep.
that
That's fair
okay?
for the
All
most
right.
part. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Folks, get yourself into the school community. Michael, if you have the school banner, it's $20 a month. It's literally I bought a burrito off of a burrito taco truck yesterday, and it was like $18. So
Yeah.
folks, $20 a month. Um, you can't go wrong. Get involved with school. Are you going to be live on school?
Yep. We're going live this Sunday, 8 a.m.
Okay, folks, get yourself involved with school. Michael, parting words.
The other thing I wanted people to know is I'm very serious about 2025 being the year of the investor. So something I'm doing as a bonus for people who buy my course this year is I'm going to do once a month quick start phone calls, again, 8 a.m. This one is scheduled for April 27th. So anybody who's bought the course January through April 27th will get an hour of my time to really make sure you're using the course correctly. You got your buy box, you got your spreadsheets, and you're going to take advantage of the year of investors. So I'm going to do that as an extra bonus for course members.
For people that buy the course, and they can buy the course at onerentalatatime.com. Is it also
Yep.
in the show notes in YouTube?
I can put it there. Yeah, it's there. Yep.
We should start putting it there every day. Okay, Michael, have a great weekend, guys. Thank you for
Later.
all you do, man. See ya.
Yeah. Bye.